Welcome to Fake News Filter, where we filter out and analyze all the techniques used by mass media to create what is now known as fake news. Today we are going to take a look at a few examples of a fake news method used by big media, a technique I call headline abuse. Let me show you what that is. Let's start with the CNBC News story published back on March 29th titled, "Businesses Oppose Florida's Don't Say Gay Ban on Discussion of LGBTQ Issues in Public Schools." So right off the bat, there are two problems in this headline that qualify it for abuse. First of all, the phrase "don't say gay" that CNBC uses is misleading. The actual bill that passed through Florida's legislature and was signed into law is called the Parental Rights and Education Act. Nowhere is the term "don't say gay" used in the language of the law. It's not implied nor expressly banned. And I'll show you. Here is the bill which became a law, the direct draft of it. It's HB 1557, and you can find this on the florida.gov website. It's very easy to locate. And I'll just briefly show you what this is, and then I'll read to you the pertinent sections of the law that apply here. The first 2.5 pages are the sort of summary of intent, not the actual law. But when you get down to line 59, where it states, "Be it enacted by the legislature of the state of Florida," that's where the letter of the law comes into play. Now, there's 7 sections to this law, but the first 3, particularly the third one, are important. So I'll just briefly cover the first 2, and then we'll go into the third one, and you'll see why. So Section 1 states, "In accordance with the rights of parents enumerated as in ... adopt procedures for notifying a student's parent if there is a change in the student's services or monitoring related to the student's mental, emotional, or physical health or well-being," etc., etc. So Section 1 just enumerates that they have to adopt procedures for notifying students' parents if there's a change in the student's well-being of varieties. Section 2, line 82, states, "A school district may not adopt procedures or student support forms that prohibit school district personnel from notifying a parent about his or her student's mental, emotional, or physical health or well-being, etc." Same parameters as in Section 1. So Section 1 mandates that they have to adopt procedures for notifying parents. Section 2 mandates that they cannot adopt procedures that prohibit school districts' personnel from notifying parents. Now that takes us to Section 3, line 97. Now this is where the inaccurate "don't say gay" misnomer comes from. It reads, "Classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3, or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in accordance with state standards." So read that again. Classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3, or in a manner that is not age appropriate. Classroom instruction on sexual orientation or gender identity. That's it. You can read through the rest of the bill if you'd like. It's easy to find. Nowhere in there does it say anything about the word gay, saying it, not saying it, banning it, nothing at all. So, since nowhere in the law is there a ban on using the word gay, what this means is this is just a catchy piece of sloganeering dreamt up by opponents of the law and repeated over and over again by the corporate media to get quick clicks and slander the law as anti-LGBTQ. It's nonsense. Secondly, the headline says that this law will ban discussion of LGBTQ issues in public schools. No, it only bans instruction of sexual orientation and gender identity in kindergarten through 3rd grade, or in a manner that is not age appropriate. We're mainly talking about K through 3 students who are around 5 to 8 years old. That's the letter of the law. So why didn't NBC note this point in its headline? And lastly, it doesn't ban discussion of anything. It bans classroom instruction of these topics for 5 to 8 year olds. So why didn't CNBC make that clear in their headline? I'll tell you why. Because CNBC knows that only 7 or 8 out of 10 readers ever read past the headline. I'll show you. A simple, quick Google search. Stats on how many people just read the headline of news stories gets you this. Right off the bat, 70% of Americans only read headlines of articles. Furthermore, down here you get the 80-20 rule of headlines from Digital Donut. It says, on average, 8 out of 10 people will read headline copy, but only 2 out of 10 will read the rest. So knowing this, fake media outlets will load their headlines with what they want most of their readers to take away from their article. In this case, misleading and inaccurate terms that encourage the reader to think poorly of the Florida law. This is headline abuse. CNBC wants you to think the Florida Parental Rights and Education Act bans saying the word gay and bans discussion of LGBTQ issues in public schools. But as we've seen, that is not the case at all. And just to show you how common the don't say gay misnomer is in the corporate news headlines, let me show you this NPR piece from back on April 10th titled, Not Just Florida, More Than a Dozen States Proposed So-Called Don't Say Gay Bills. Are all these bills proposing a ban on the word gay? Is that what that headline is supposed to mean? Or are they looking to implement laws similar to Florida's Parental Rights and Education Act, where classroom instruction of sexual orientation and gender identity is banned from K through 3 or when age appropriate? I can tell you that without looking up these bills, I think we can confidently say that there is no bill banning using the word gay anywhere. And lastly, let me just show you some headline abuse from across the pond. The Guardian has a story published on April 11th titled, Florida's Don't Say Gay bill inspired a chilling wave of Republican legislation. Ooh, a chilling wave of banning the word gay? No, I think we know better than that by now. But how many readers don't know that the term don't say gay is a total fabrication? How many people think Florida just banned using the word gay or banned discussion of LGBTQ issues in public schools? How many don't know that the law actually bans classroom instruction of sexual orientation and gender identity to 5 to 8 year olds? I don't know the answer to this, but I do know that only 20 to 30% of readers ever read past the headline. And when the headline contains lies and manipulations, it's headline abuse. And make no mistake, this is what fake news is. It isn't the phony stories ginned up by tabloids or political fiction imagined in Russia and pushed through social media outlets. Fake news is manipulated half-truths, outright lies, and the brilliant little deceptions that masquerade as legitimate news on the legacy corporate media outlets that still misinform hundreds of millions of Americans every day and every hour. So what do you think about this headline abuse? Do you agree it's fake news or disagree? I'd love to hear from you, so please don't hesitate to comment below. Thank you for checking out my video. If you liked it, give it a like, share it, and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you all next time at Fake News Filter.